NFL weekend, Hawk. Why?
I think Indy, but one of the reasons.
In Kansas City.
I do. I think this is just a very difficult matchup for Kansas City's defense. I don't think they can stop Tyler Warner in the run game. One of the reasons why this game is so interesting, and honestly, this next 10 days in the NFL is so interesting. We could be looking realistically at a playoff without Patrick Mahomes, Joe Burrow, Josh Allen, and Lamar Jackson, which is absolutely insane to think about, but it's not unrealistic. Kansas City loses this weekend. Numbers-wise, it's almost impossible. We know that the Bengals and Joe Burrow have almost an impossible run.
Right.
We'll see what happens with Buffalo. I think it's a massively difficult game tonight on the road versus Houston.
Going to get to that one in a minute. Yeah.
That division. And then Baltimore. I mean, Baltimore is just an unknown right now. The defense has been great, but the offense is very stagnant and not crisp right now. So all four of those quarterbacks that have been the spearhead of the playoffs for years could miss the playoffs.
There is actually a fascinating side to that. Because, Will, we have described the AFC as the murderer's row for the last half a generation, and those four are the reason why. Well, you got to get through Josh, and you got to get through Burrow, and you got to get through Mahomes, and you got to get through whichever one I didn't just say, Lamar Jackson. And I think Lamar Jackson will get there. I think the Ravens are going to win that division from behind, right? The alternative is Pittsburgh holds them off.
Yeah.
Maybe they do. Maybe they do. I think Lamar Jackson winds up getting it.
Two of those four quarterbacks are going to be in the playoffs, minimum.
Two of those four?
Well, there's only three on the screen, but you included Allen.
Yeah. Allen's going to make it. I think Mahomes, in the end, will make it. I think
they're not making it.
I think 3 of the 4. It's a good take, Dan. It's good TV in Week 12.
I don't know. If the Chiefs lose this Sunday, they're not getting the playoffs.
Mathematically, Shefty.
Again, this would be the Chiefs' third loss. Indy's a great story, and they're going to make the playoffs, and they're going to win that division, I think. I can't imagine Kansas City losing a third straight game at home.
Yeah,
I just can't.
So what an opportunity for the Colts to turn. This is such a great story to, hey, we are a great football team.
Yeah,
which offensively, they're performing the best offense in the NFL. And Denver, you lay out a formula how to beat the Chiefs. You dare them to run the football because they can't run the football well. And then you got Sauce Gardner. It's like, take away Rashee Rice, dare the Chiefs offense to run the football and try to keep up with that Colts offense.
I'd also say that game last weekend wasn't as close as the final score, the Denver-Kansas City game.
Right.
Kansas City got 6 points off pass interferences. That was the best thing that did outside the shot to Thornton. So this offense just sputtered last week. I don't think that this is a blowout, but I do think it's a matchup. Indy coming off of a bye that favors them at least offensively.
Graziano said a smart thing here when he was here the other day. He said, we've become accustomed to, whenever things look questionable for Kansas City, Andy Reid schemes up something brilliant, Patrick does something brilliant, Chris Jones does something brilliant. And frankly, that hasn't happened yet this year. It doesn't mean it can't or won't. But Reid coming off a bye, that was supposed to be his spot. And instead of their offense looking like it was rejuvenated and everything, they look terrible against what is a great defense in Denver. And Mahomes is not finding that magical play that no one else could possibly make that we are accustomed to him making.
And I do think that there are elements that, like, to your point, they've relied so heavily on talent with Kansas City. Yes, Andy Reid, absolutely, but you had peak Travis Kelce. You had peak Tyreek Hill at a point. You had peak Patrick Mahomes. And I think now that they are evolving into a piece-led offense, after the bye, it's not as, sexy as we've seen it previously, but they have to hit. I'm telling you, if they hit those second-level throws, those third-level throws,
use the word peak,
it's completely different.
Use peak. Is Patrick past his peak? No.
Not Patrick, but
they still
some
don't
of the
have
others.
That juice.
Chris Jones may be in Travis Kelce.
I think the offense plays well this weekend. I think that what the defense can't match. I think it's a high-scoring football.
Is their offensive line good enough? I mean, Kansas City's. Look, Denver's defense has made a lot of offensive lines look questionable.
Yeah.
But there's still, I think there are still some questions. What are you making?
Making fun of me. I think the offensive line is fine. Here's still the problem with Kansas City. Their offensive line doesn't necessarily get a ton of opportunities to maul you and to fit.
Because they don't run the ball.
Right.
They don't run the ball at all.
It's a lot of RPOs that become passes.
Yeah, Andy was talking about that the other day. All right, it's fascinating.
This is going to be a double-digit win. Danny Jones is going to hang 40 on these boys.
This is it. So we have been saying since the beginning of the year, the Colts are a great story. But if Daniel Jones, when he meets up with Patrick in the playoffs, is he going to be ready for that? Well, guess what? It's Patrick, who we're asking some questions about right now, Week 12, that absolutely has to win this game. You look at every single metric, playoff number. The Chiefs have to win this game if they're going to make the playoffs.
And who is the one guy that did beat him in the postseason? Who's the one guy that has had some success? Lou Anarumo, when he was the Bengals defensive coordinator.
Oh.
He's now in Indianapolis. He's now working for the Colts. They're coming off a bye. He's got extra time to get ready for Mahomes and the Chiefs. Again, Mahomes and the Chiefs have gotten the best of Lou Anarumo at times, but there aren't many defensive coordinators who have done a better job of slowing down that quarterback and that offense than the Colts defensive coordinator.
Yeah, I don't think Kansas City defensively can stop Tyler Warren. And I would just caution everybody, giving Egbuka the Offensive Rookie of the Year award immediately. He's been outstanding.
Ted McMillan would like to have a word too,
Yeah,
by the
true.
way.
They can't cover Warren. I think the way that the Indianapolis Colts use him is outstanding. He's one of those guys that you can dump a screen off to him and all of a sudden 25 yards later, because he's so good with the ball in his hands. They'll use him in their run game. If you use him in your run game, you can then use him in your action game. Players over plays, moments. You can throw him balls with the contested catch, his ability to just make strong catches. I think you got to match up with him. Size, physicality, ball skills. You can give it to him short, and he could just be physically more dominant than other people. And then down the field, this is where I think Kansas City's going to struggle. You play against Kansas City, throwing to the tight end. Teams this year are 44 for 52 throwing to their tight end against Kansas City's defense. This young man is a special talent. Think of Dalton Kincaid and what he did a couple weeks ago against this Kansas City defense. I think Tyler Warren has a massive day and leads the Colts to a win as well.
Let me put a number to this, Cindy, if we could see C27. I mean, the Chiefs, I told you the other day, they have to win out in order to assure themselves of a playoff spot. Otherwise, they will need some help. If they lose this game on Sunday, their chances of making the playoffs drop to 36%. That's the playoffs. This is a team that's been in the last 3 Super Bowls, and they will have only a 36% chance to make the playoffs. I've heard from everyone here but you, Hawk. Who do you expect to win this game?
I'm not betting against Patrick Mahomes. He's never lost 3 in a row. They understand their backs are against the wall, and I feel like in most times in those situations, he plays at his best. Even if you look at it schematically, offensively, there were big throws last week for the Kansas City Chiefs that they didn't connect on, that they have to connect on. One to Xavier Worthy, one to Thornton down the field. And I think when you have their kind of receiving core and weapons on the outside, including Travis Kelce, it's receiver by committee, but each portion of the field needs to execute. They didn't do that down the field, which is why the whole thing kind of crumbled.
This is where everybody's going to be. Next week, it's going to be I'm not betting against Patrick Mahomes because he's never went 0-4 in his career. Like sports books, everybody still got Chiefs favored to win the Super Bowl and everything.
Right.
Like it.
It's over.
You're believing what your eyes are seeing.
This goes beyond football.
Last week's game wasn't close.
Families need to prepare in Kansas City for Thanksgiving feasts and start having conversations that their Chiefs are no longer going to be in the playoffs this year. Families need to prepare for Christmas that their children are going to be asking for Bo Nix jerseys and not Patrick Mahomes. That is where we were getting to, fellas.
Now we were talking. Look, I mean, Graziano was here the other day. He covered that game, and he said, just standing on the sideline, the Broncos were just better than them. We kept waiting. Oh, Patrick's going to do this. The Broncos look like a better team. Some of these teams look better. We'll see if Indy looks better than them.
And I'll tell you this, it's the most